up, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. It is Fight Week. UFC 323 takes place this weekend, and it is the last pay-per-view of the year, and not only that, the last paid pay-per-view that we're ever going to get from the UFC. And these aren't just predictions from me, what's going to happen at UFC 323. No. These are spoilers. Now, how we're going to start off the last pay-per-view of the year with an absolute banger between Naimov and Mairon Santos. Now, this one, I'm really excited for this one because I think it's quite a hard one to call. Naimov is actually quite an underdog for this one, which I do disagree with, but I do think that Mairon Santos is going to get a decision win in this one. Naimov's been looking really good. He's quite well-rounded, but I do think Santos, even though he's a bit younger, he's only lost once, and he's a bit of a prospect, he's got some very nice, clean boxing, and he does punish it a fair bit. I feel like his grappling can hold up against someone like Naimov, even though he is quite strong, but I think that Santos is going to get the job done, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Naimov is able to get the job done instead, because he is quite slept on in my opinion. Now, next up, we have Mansur Abdul-Malik taking on Antonio Trocoli, and I'm going to be honest, lads, I think we all know where this one's heading. Mansur just going to absolutely fucking batter him and probably get a first round finish. Trocoli's not that good at all. And Abdul-Malik, he's undefeated. He's somewhat young as well. He's 28. He's been looking quite decent. So yeah, I think he's going to get a first round knockout. Nothing much really to this fight. It's a big layup for Mansur. And if he fucks this up, well, I don't know what to say. Now, next up, a bit of a weird one. We got Aslan taking on Baraniewski. I'm sorry if I've just butchered his name, but Baraniewski is 6-0, and he's actually a favorite for this one, quite a moderate favorite as well, which kind of surprises me considering Aslan at one point, people were really heavy on Aslan after he knocked out, Rafael Sequeira, who just got sparked out the other week. Yeah, people were very high on this guy, and then he lost to fucking Ion Cutelaba, and also lost to Billy Alencana, which was one of the worst fights I've ever seen in my entire life, and now he's an underdog against this guy, and I'm kind of struggling with this one because the guy he's fighting, undefeated Polish guy, he's finished everyone. The only thing I've seen of him is a 20-second knockout on the Dana White Contender Series where he lands an overhand right as a counter in 20 seconds. So it's kind of hard to say what I'm expecting for this one. So I'm just going to go off the guy I've seen more of, and that's Aslan. I don't really rate him too highly, but I've just seen more of him. And yeah, maybe he's better. I don't know. It's kind of hard one to predict. I'm just going to go with Aslan. Okay, now we get to one I'm actually really scared about. Edson Barboza taking on a returning Jalin Turner. Of course, Jalin Turner retired and then came back in the same year. And now he takes on Edson Barboza, and is a big Edson Barboza. Love it, enjoy it, glaze it fan. I am shitting bricks right now. Now that Jalin Turner's on about, yeah, I found my purpose in life. Yeah, my purpose is to fucking decapitate Edson Barboza. No, I don't want that to happen. But unfortunately, guys, I think it's going to happen. I'd love it if Edson Barboza could run back the clock, but I just don't think he's going to run back the clock. I think Jalin Turner's going to tag him quite early on and put him away in the first round. If somehow Barboza survives the first round, maybe the second round. But I think Jalin Turner is going to come back with a bang, and unfortunately, that bang is going to be against Edson Barboza. It's going to be fireworks for how long it lasts, but I just don't think it's going to last that long at all. And I think Turner's going to get the job done in vicious fashion, unfortunately. And next up, we go to the middleweight division where we have Marvin Vettori, the unbreakable object, meeting the unstoppable force, which is Bruno Ferreira, the mini Hulk, whatever his nickname is. How does this one go? Now, this one's quite a crazy one because Bruno Ferreira, he's quite good when it comes to submissions, and he can knock you out. I mean, he broke the chin of RoboCop, which is fucking crazy. Can he crack the chin of Marvin Vettori, the greatest chin of all time, in my opinion? I don't think so. I think it's actually split down the evens when it comes to the bookies. I think Marvin Vettori is going to take this one. Now, I'm not super confident because Marvin Vettori just kind of... But how I see this fight going, Bruno Ferreira cracks Marvin Vettori and hurts him badly, but then he wastes all this energy on trying to put Marvin Vettori away. He's not able to do it. No one's able to do it. And then he's used up all of his energy because Bruno Ferreira doesn't have that great of a gas tank necessarily as well. I think he'll gas himself out, and then I think Marvin Vettori is going to get a finish over Bruno Ferreira. A bit of a crazy theory for me. Well, that's just how I see it playing out. I think Marvin Vettori is going to gas out Bruno Ferreira by being a fucking punch bag, and then I think he'll get a TKO ground and pound finish over Bruno Ferreira. If not that, a boring decision victory, 29-28. Next up, we have a fight for the MMA purists, and that's a lightweight fight between Ziam taking on Nazim Sadykhov. Now, how does this one play out? honestly, I don't know. I'm sitting on the fence with this one. I am struggling so much to decide a winner for this one because both guys have been looking absolutely fantastic in their last few fights. And Sadykhov just had a fight of the year contender against Thiago Motta at the start of the year. Absolutely brilliant fight, but he did get cracked a few times. And Ziam, he's been looking really good. Beat Mike Davidson's been looking brilliant. Beat Matt Favola as well. That beautiful knee. Gorgeous stuff. How does this one go? I really love Nazim Sadykhov, but I think Ziam's going to get it done. I've just got to favour the guy who I think is the better mixed martial artist. Don't get me wrong, Nazim Sadykhov is a better striker. Lovely to watch. But Ziam, he's a good striker. He's great in the clinch. He's quite lengthy for that division as well. And he's also got very good grappling. So I'm going to go with Ziam for this one. And I don't know whether to go by a finish or a decision. I'm going to go for a decision because Nazim Sadykhov is really tough. But this is a very hard one to call, in my opinion. I'm saying 29-28 for Ziam. I think Sadykhov is going to do really well on the feet. But when Ziam starts mixing it in with the grappling and the clinches, that's when I think he'll start taking over. I feel like he'll weather a bit of a storm starting off in that first round and eventually edge out a decision. But this is a brilliant fight and I cannot wait for it. Next up, we have a fight between Maycee, Barber and Karine Silva. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know. I can't remember anything about either one of these two fighters. Like, I know Maycee Barber's on like quite a winning streak, and at one point she was like meant to be the future, then fucking got done in by Roxanne Modafferi, which is crazy. But I can't remember much about either woman. I'm just gonna go with the favorite, Maycee Barber, because I can't remember a singular fight for Karine Silva. Call me a casual. Don't give a bollocks. Just saying how it is and just being honest with you, I don't remember anything. I'm going to go Maycee Barber, boring decision, win. That's just how I think it's going to go, and I know fuck all. Right, now we get to another lightweight fight, which, again, the MMA purists are going to love this one. Terrance McKinney versus Chris Duncan. This is such a brilliant fight. Now, Chris Duncan is the favourite. He's got a great win over Mateusz Rebecca and also Fight of the Year candidate, which was earlier on in the year. But I might go with the underdog for this one, Terrance McKinney. Now, it's hard to go with Terrance McKinney because I feel like he does let you down a bit. He's quite chinny, you know. He's been knocked out a fair few times. And Duncan has improved his striking a fair bit. Was out-striking Mateusz Rebecca, who's a very good striker. But when it comes to like the grappling side of things, Duncan's a good grappler, don't get me wrong, but that's Terrance McKinney's bread and butter. I mean, he submitted Ferreira Ziam, which is aged incredibly, by the way. I think that was the last time that Ziam actually lost. And he submitted him. Terrance McKinney is a really good grappler. And I think if he mixes in his grappling like he did against, Bolshchev, I think, and made it light work. I'm not saying he'll make it light work against Duncan. I don't think that's the case. But I do think he can really trouble Chris Duncan and beat him. The problem is, I want to side with McKinney, but as I'm just explaining this, I just can't trust him. I can't trust him to not get tagged at some point. I think he can be a problem. I think he also has a lot of power, and he can catch Chris Duncan. Chris Duncan takes a fair bit of damage. I just don't know if I can trust him. So for that reason alone, I was really tempted to go with Terrance McKinney right there. But I've just kind of persuaded myself not to because I just can't trust Terrance McKinney. I want to say McKinney gets it done, but I'm going to go with Chris Duncan. But I do think McKinney is a hard fucking style for Chris Duncan. I'm going to go with Chris Duncan by a second round TKO victory, maybe a third round TKO victory. Now we get to the final fight of the prelims, which is a staying in the lightweight division between Grant Dawson and Manuel Torres. Now for this one, another hard one to call. Grant Dawson is a favourite, and I might side with the favourite on this one. Manuel Torres obviously lost to Ignacio Bahamondes, and then he came back against Drew Dober and finished Drew Dober, which is brilliant. You know, he's added to the list of people who finished Drew Dober, and it's not a big list. But the thing is, Drew Dober is not like a grappler, and I don't know. The only thing what puts me off of this one, Grant Dawson got fucking slept by a wash Bobby Green in like a minute, was he? Like, oh, man. I kind of struggle. I know he's on a winning streak right now. He just beat Diego Ferreira. Great win. But I'm just like, I don't know, man. This is a hard one because, again, it's kind of like the last fight. I'm struggling to fucking trust Grant Dawson in this one. I don't know. And I feel like Manuel Torres hits like a fucking truck, man. You know what? I'm going to go with the underdog on this one. I'm going to go with Manuel Torres. What am I doing, man? I keep convincing myself. I'm like, yeah, I'm set. And then as I'm explaining myself and trying to justify who I think wins, I'm like, just fucking flip-flopping. So I'm going to go with Manuel Torres. And I'm going to go with a second or third round knockout. I think he'll be losing a lot of this fight. And then he'll pull out like a clutch win. That's how I see this fight playing out. He's just really long. He has stupid power. And I have a feeling he's going to be quite dangerous off his back as well. So I'm going to go with Emmanuel Torres finish. And I could see it being a submission as well, but I think he's going to get a finish. Second, third round, either a submission or KO. I can see that either one of those two, but I think he will get the job done and finish Grant Dawson. Now we get to the main card, and we have Jan Blachowicz taking on Bogdan Guskov. How do I see this one playing out? I'm going to go with Jan Blachowicz, who is a slight favourite. He's almost 43 years old as well. I just think Guskov, he hasn't really experienced anyone of that caliber. Like, the only person remotely close to that caliber and still isn't that caliber, fuck me, stop saying that word, is Volkan Ozdemir, who finished Guskov. I just think Jan Blachowicz, even though he's a lot older now, you can get away with being older in the light heavyweight division, the heavyweight division. And not only that, he made it competitive against Carlos Ulberg, who's been looking really good. And I just think he's going to take a decision win against Guskov here. Do I think he could hurt Guskov? Yeah, I think Guskov can hurt Jan Blachowicz as well, to be fair. I think this is actually... Do I think this will be boring? I don't know. I don't think it will. I think we're actually going to get quite a decent fight to open up the main card. But I think Jan Blachowicz is going to get a contested, competitive 29-28, which could go either way because both guys land a fair bit of damage on each other. But I think Jan Blachowicz is going to get it done simply because Guskov just... I don't know. I just don't believe in him yet. After what I saw against... I know he finished Billy Alicana, but Alicana took that on short notice. And I'm going to say dominated the first round with his grappling. I know Jan Blachowicz isn't a grappler necessarily, but he can mix it in if he needs to. And I just think that experience from Jan Blachowicz, I think he can really use that against Guskov. And I think he's going to get a decision win here. Okay, and now we get to Peyton Talbot versus Henry Cejudo. And how does this one play out? Now, Peyton Talbot's actually a massive favourite, and I don't like the odds. Like, if you're a betting man, I'm saying chuck some money on Henry Cejudo. I just think... I'm going to go with Peyton Talbot. I just think that Cejudo, I know he's only been losing to like Marab, Aljo, Song Yudong, but I don't know, man. I just don't think he's got that fire anymore, to be honest with you. I don't think he cares, but I don't know if the urge is there. Whereas Peyton Talbot, I think he really wants this. I feel like, especially after watching his display against Raoni Barcelos and then watching his fight against Felipe Lima. Felipe Lima, very good prospect. And even though I think he got taken down in the first round and was losing that first round, he adapted in that fight and stuffed the rest of the takedowns and looked very good on the feet. I think he's able to replicate that against Cejudo. I also think Peyton Talbot's a lot bigger compared to Cejudo. Cejudo's quite short and compact, whereas Peyton Talbot's still quite big and tall as well. I think this could be a big problem for Cejudo, and I just feel like Cejudo will have success, but then eventually Peyton will land on Cejudo, and I think once it lands on Cejudo, he starts getting the timing of the grappling and whatnot. I think that's when Cejudo's in trouble. I think Cejudo wins the first round, but then I think Peyton Talbot will take the next two rounds, mostly via damage. Like, I feel like Cejudo will still get some takedowns in the second and third round, but I just feel like Peyton Talbot is going to land big on Cejudo, and that's what's really going to get him this win. Do I think he finishes Cejudo? No, I don't, but I do think that he gets a decision win over Cejudo. And now we go down to the flyweight division where we have the Lego Man taking on I'm Happy Thank You, Brandon Moreno, taking on Tatsuro Taira. I cannot wait for this fight. I'm going to be honest with you. I fucking love this fight. And who am I going to go with? Man, this is hard. Now, Tatsuro Taira obviously lost to Brandon Royval in a competitive 5-round fight, which I think has done him wonders experience-wise. Taking a loss like that to Brandon Royval, I think has only made Tatsuro Taira better. Even though we haven't seen much of him, he beat... was it Park at the start of the year as a short replacement fight and just absolutely fucking dominated him. And since then, we haven't seen him. Brandon Moreno looked amazing against Amir Albazi. And I can't remember if you've seen him ever since then either. But regardless, Steve Erceg as well, boxed the bleeding head off him. But it eventually did start slowing down in all fairness. But given that this is a 3-round fight, I'm actually going to go with the underdog, Brandon Moreno. I just think he's too well-rounded. I think Royval was able to show that Tatsuro Taira, although he's not terrible on the feet, he's very hittable on the feet. And I think Brandon Moreno can expose that as well. And when it comes to grappling exchanges, I cannot wait for this fight. Because Tatsuro Taira, he's like a wet blanket. He's super strong. He can submit you. He can dictate where the fight's going to go on the ground. But Brandon Moreno's also good on the ground as well. Also got that jiu-jitsu background. So I'm very looking forward to this fight. I think it's going to be very high pace for 3 rounds. I would have loved it for about 5 rounds, but of course, you don't always get what you want. But I think Brandon Moreno's going to take a competitive decision over Tatsuro Taira. I wouldn't be surprised if Taira wins this one, but I'm going to go with Brandon Moreno, but I want Tyro to win because it's just better for the division, but I think Moreno's going to get the job done. And now we stay in the flyweight division for the co-main event between Alexander Pantoja and Joshua Van. Now, a lot of people, people are getting on the Joshua Van bandwagon, saying that he's going to win this one, he's going to stop Pantoja. I completely disagree. I think Pantoja's going to show levels in this one. Now, yeah, Joshua Van has done great ever since getting knocked out by Charles Johnson's gone on this nice win streak, and it's been a great story. But I think the fairy tale story ends here. I think Pantoja is not going to play into the game of Joshua Van. Now, that's what I feel like Brandon Royval really did. He played into the game of Joshua Van. I don't think Pantoja is going to play in the game of Joshua Van. I don't think he's going to show him as much respect as Brandon Royval. Well, Royval didn't really show him any respect. That's why he got pieced up so much. I feel like Pantoja will show him more respect then, but he's just going to be more calculated and stick to his game plan rather than playing to Joshua Van's. I think Van's going to have some success here and there, but I think that Pantoja is going to get him down, and I think he's going to get a submission victory. I really do. I know that Joshua Van showed great takedown defense against Ray Tesori, but Pantoja can mix it in. He can go at a stupid pace. He can fight whilst fatigued. He's got that experience. And Joshua Van, man, I just think, yeah, he might be able to hurt Pantoja, but I don't know. I just don't see him being able to keep it on the feet the entire fight. And if he does, I don't see him being able to get up plenty of times. I think Pantoja will be able to keep him quiet. Like, kind of similar to the Kai Kara France fight. I think Van will have a bit more success with the boxing, but still, I think that Pantoja is going to get the job done, get the submission victory, and then hopefully we get Kyoji Horiguchi versus Pantoja. That's a fight I'd really love to see. And now we get to the main event, and you guys have seen the thumbnail. I bet I'm getting loads of comments just slating me for this, but hold on a minute. I'm talking, brother. Yes, I think Jan is going to do the unthinkable and beat Merab in this rematch. Now, before you say I'm doing it for rage bait or clickbait or anything like that, guys, on my TikTok, I've literally done like a 53-day thingy where I remind you where Jan's going to win. I've been saying it on TikTok for like the last, I can't even remember how long, a very long time, that I think that Jan would beat Merab in a rematch, and I've not swayed. I have not swayed on this one. I think Jan, after that loss to Merab in the first fight, I think he really is going to learn from that and know what to expect. I feel like with Merab, he was kind of in like a DDP scenario where, like, everyone's like, oh, he's shit. He's fucking shit. And when he got matched up against Jan, that was like the big test for him. And I think everyone was just kind of like, yeah, Jan's going to fucking make him, you know what I mean? Then Merab surprised everyone's like, yeah, this is my coming out party. I can fucking smash up these elite fighters. And then now that we know that he's great, the bantamweight goat, he's well-rounded and all that, Jan knows what he's getting in for, and the experience of the first fight, he knows what he's in for. I think he's really gonna adapt from that first fight. People saying he's just gonna get taken down loads again. He didn't get taken down loads. He got taken down like 6 times out of about 48 takedown attempts or whatever. Something stupid. I can't remember the actual specific numbers, but you know what I mean. It was something stupid. But he defended the majority of the takedowns, so I'm not concerned for his takedown defense. It's just the fact that I think Merab has leveled up and now he's more confident with his hands and whatnot. But I do think that could actually play in Jan's favour, where Merab tries to strike with him a bit, and I think Jan can tag him now. Obviously, Jan's not some big finisher or anything like that, but I do think he packs a bit of a punch, and I do think with the uppercuts that he displayed against the likes of Song Yudong, Davison Figueiredo, Marcus McGee, he can also use those uppercuts against Merab. I'm not saying he's never used uppercuts before, but I feel like it was more, they were more there, especially for the Figueiredo fight. He was landing loads of fucking uppercuts, and I feel like he's going to land a lot of big strikes on Merab. Now, again, I think Merab's going to have success, but I do think Jan's going to get a very competitive and close decision win over Merab, and I cannot wait for this. I love Peter Yan, and I do think he's going to get the job done, and no one can convince me otherwise. And if Merab beats him in a rematch, I might retire from watching MMA. But yes, I do think Jan's going to get the job done. I do think when it comes to the grappling exchanges, that Jan will able to prove what he did in the first fight and nullify a lot of his takedown attempts. I'm not scared for Jan on the floor. I just think it's more the pace, really, given that Jan is known for being a slow starter. But regardless, I think that Jan can get it done. I think he'll win the striking exchanges, and I think he'll be able to keep it on the feet a lot of the time as well. And I think he will hurt Merab at some point and have Merab kind of panic wrestle, and I think Jan will really start to take over. So I'm going to go with Jan, a 48-47 decision victory. But yes, I know, guys, I am crazy for thinking that Jan wins, but let me know in the comments, who do you think wins? Who do you think But yes, I know, guys, I am a crazy man for thinking that Ziam wins. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with some of my predictions? Do you disagree with them? Let me know in the comments. What's the fight you're looking forward to most? I will be doing a watch long here for the pay-per-view. Of course I will. I'll be doing a watch long here and on the Purple app, Twitch. So go check that out if you want to come, have a bit of a chit-chat, keep up to date with what's happening in my card. But let me know in the comments what you think of this card, what you're looking forward to. Thank you for watching the video. If you've enjoyed it, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.